Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura B. Flosstube. Welcome or welcome back. I am so glad you joined me today. This is Flosstube 56. It is April 23rd, 2024, and I have finally reached over 5,200 subscribers. I am so excited about how the channel has been growing over the past couple of years and how many of you are commenting and liking and sharing the videos out for me. I really appreciate all of your efforts, and please don't think that I take it for granted, because I definitely don't. So today we are going to talk about some cross stitching, we're going to talk about some quilting, and we're going to talk about life. So cross stitching has been primarily my second venture the past couple of weeks. Quilting has definitely risen to the forefront because I had some things I had to get done. And life, well, life is always there, getting in the way of my craft time. So without further ado, we're going to get started with the cross stitching so you can see what I've accomplished. First up is the Lori Holt You Are the Boss cross stitch, and this was on my April goals list. I was going to try to get 3 squares of this chart done, and I have actually completed that goal. So I'm excited to share that with you. Last time, I believe I had a pretty good start on these 3 boxes here at the bottom, but I now have them done. So I now have 6 of the 12 boxes on this chart done. So that's pretty exciting. I know I'm calling them boxes. They're actually supposed to look like quilt blocks, and you know, they do. So these right down here are the ones I finished in April. So that April goal is complete, and I am super, super happy about that. I am going to try to get better about telling you guys each time what I'm stitching on and how I'm stitching, all that good stuff. Please forgive me if I'm not 100% on that, but someone asked me, I am stitching this on a 28 count Lugana cloth, and I am stitching it with the DMC thread, but it's not the called for DMC. I am stitching it with some similar colors, just some ones that I had in my stash that I grabbed out, and because quite frankly, I just didn't want to go shopping. Next up is the Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting and Stitchery Houses on Pumpkin Lane stitch. And you might remember, if you've watched me before, this is a 9-part series, and I was working on the first house, which is called the Pumpkin House. And I was hoping to finish this house in March, and that did not happen. So I put it down for a goal in April, and I have been working on it quite a lot lately, actually. And I made some adjustments to it because I just decided, I did the houses on Peppermint Lane, and I really love how that stitch turned out. I have it framed and it's hanging in my craft room, even though it's not Christmas time. I don't care. It was a great big stitch, and I want to showcase that. But for my houses on Pumpkin Lane, I'm going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to do a different type of divider between. It's very similar to what they're doing, but I'm only doing the one color because I want it to kind of look like a gingham ribbon going between the houses. And I only want it to be like the black and white, or it's actually kind of a dark gray. A dark gray and white gingham ribbon. And I don't want to do the bottom border that's at the bottom of each of the homes. I want the house to be kind of like the base of each square. So this is how I'm going to do mine. I'm going to do all 9 of them. And just leave off that bottom border and put this gingham ribbon in between rather than the more opaque 2-color gingham. I'm just going to do the 1-color gingham ribbon stitched on my dividers. So I do have the pumpkin house completed. I finished that up last night, and I am super excited to get that done. And just like I said, I'm going to try to get better, but here I almost went again. I'm also stitching this on a 28 count Lugana. So that's another reason why I decided to downsize the designs just a little bit, because these are, you know, fairly big. I believe that the finished stitch for all of this is going to, I don't remember what it was going to be. I can't even say. Let me grab this. Let's see. One house is 5.5 by 5. So I'm going to say it's probably going to be 5.5 by 4.5 now. So I'm already looking at, what is that, 15, 16, 17, probably about 18 by 15 for a finished size. But that's on 36 count, and I'm doing it on 14. So my stitching is going to be even bigger than that. So I didn't want to get it like super, super, super big, but get it big enough, keep it big enough and true enough to the original design that you can get the general idea. So again, here's my pumpkin house. And I do have the next one open, and I will hope to start that in May probably, because I do still have a few April goals to go. But I will be stitching the second house in the series starting in May, and that's the chrysanthemum house. I have to always slow myself down and think about how to say that word. All right, another April goal that I had on the list was to start the 1990 Prairie Schooler Santa. I have a goal this year of trying to get 6 of these done. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's nice to have goals, isn't it? So this is what I have finished on the 1990 Santa. I just started this last night, probably stitched maybe an hour on it, if that, and just started doing a little bit of outlining to get the red coat. And I actually, this is how it went down. All right, I decided, I'll start with the dark gray, the black color, and do the buttons and part of the bunny here that he's holding. And then I ran out of thread, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to switch to red now because I want to outline some of that and get like a general idea of where I'm going to be at with my cloth and with my stitching, so I can just fill in when I have time. And so I did a couple lines of red, and then I went, I'll just go ahead and outline this. And then I ran out of red, and I didn't want to pull another string off of my ring. So I was like, well, I have some gray laying here, so let's just do the boots. So that's kind of where I went. I just kind of went back and forth with what I had out and ready at my disposal without pulling more thread off the rings. Kind of a lazy stitching night last night, apparently. But that is my progress on the 1990 Prairie School of Santa, so I can cross that goal off the list because all I cared about was it was started, and it is started. My last thing in April, well, I actually have 2, but my next up for April is to get another square done for the Durene Jones Christmas stitch along, which was the 2023 stitch along that she did. And I do have it hooped up as of last night, and I hope to start on it tonight. We'll see how the evening progresses. I have some things on my plate to do tonight, so I don't know if I'll have time to stitch or not, but this is at the forefront of the next thing I will be stitching when I have time. So those are my updates on April goals. I have not done anything with the Featherweight Stitch, and I'm okay with that. I still have another, I don't know, week or so, I guess, to make some progress on it. And that's really all I want to do for April 2 is just make some progress. I first thought I would try to get all of the X's basically done and get the little tomato pin cushion and the other spool of thread done. But I put the goal down as just to make some progress. So I guess if I put a couple stitches in, I can say met the goal, made some progress. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I do want to work on the Durene Jones Christmas stitch along, and that's kind of a priority for me right now in my head for some reason. So I think I'll probably focus on that and see where I'm at when I get it finished. So that is my cross stitch progress and my goals for April. I do have some new cross stitch things to share with you, and I'm kind of excited about these. One of them, I wish I could show you a picture. I wish I could show you what it's going to look like or something, but I have no idea. I went to a flea market with my husband, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and I saw this in the cross stitch or in a flea market. And I thought, and it was for sale, and I thought about rescuing it, but then I thought, I would love to stitch this, and I'd like to do it in my colors. So I thought, I'll find the chart. So I threw it out on Instagram. Thank you for those who helped me. I'll confession, okay, I pretty much knew what it had to be called, right? I mean, just from the way it looks, it has to be called the quilting, right? I mean, I feel like that would be a good guess, right? But I didn't know who made it or anything. So I threw the picture out on Instagram and said, hey, can you tell me anything about this chart? Like who made it? Where's it from? All that good stuff. And a few of you responded, thank you so much for helping me out. So I did track it down and I found the pattern. Now, this really kind of made me laugh when I found the pattern because it came in just like a little bitty bag, and the chart is kind of huge, but tiny. the X's on it, or the squares on it, are very, very tiny. So I got the chart, and this is like a photo that was included with it. And this was done in 1986. It's told in a garden, and it's called the quilting. So I really am looking forward to making this. The other one I got, when I was searching for this pattern, I ran across another one. The other one's called the Sisters Quilt, and it's also by Told in the Garden. I can't show you much of anything except that, I guess. Because it's just like, it's a bookmark. And there's a chart on there, and the name of the company is up there, or the series, I guess, is up there. And that's all. I have no photo reference to go by. The colors are listed on there. The sizes of the squares are very small. I will be putting it on my scanner and blowing it up so I can see it better when I'm trying to stitch it. But I do want to get both of those started this year. I'm not sure when. I'm thinking I might try to start them in May or June, but I have a couple other things that I also want to get started. So we'll have to see where they fall in line. But if nothing else, I have the patterns and I have the information about them. And actually, the Sisters Quilt doesn't look like it would be that big of a stitch. Like I said, it's a Told in the Garden bookmark. And it's not, I mean, it's like 31 by 54. So that's not big at all. That's like 2 by 4. And although that's on 14 count Ada. So that shouldn't take me very long. It is pretty much a solid stitch though, so that might cause me a little more time involved with it, but it shouldn't take too long to get that done. I might start that in May and just try to get it done in May too. Who knows? Don't hold me to that though. The other thing I've done for cross stitch, I bought a few goodies. Fat Quarter Shop has their needle minders on sale all this month, so you still have a few more days if you haven't taken advantage of this sale. But they have all their needle minders and charms 20% off. So I got this cute little Scotty dog, and I got the teal bee, which I'm super, super excited about getting. And actually, I think it's cottage. I think that's the cottage color. But I have the pink one and the yellow one. So, I mean, I needed the blue one, right? I mean, it's a blue bee. Who doesn't want a blue bee? So I have my blue bee. And I can't believe I bought this, but it's so freaking cute, isn't it? There's the Scarecrow needle minder, and it's a Lori Holt, of course. This goes with the cross stitch and a couple quilts that she has. So I bought the quilted Scarecrow cross stitch, and I'm really excited about this one. He's so super cute. I love fall. Fall is like my favorite season. So pumpkins and scarecrows and autumn, anything, I'm in. So we will see where he falls in line. I think Fat Quarter Shop is going to be doing a stitch along for this. And if so, I might try to jump in on that. Or I might just do my own thing. We'll see. Do you have this pattern? Are you going to do it? Because maybe we can do it together at a different pace or something. I need maybe a slower pace than Kimberly Jolly, because that girl can stitch. All right, so that's all of, let me see, make sure. Yes, that's all of my cross stitch stuff. Now moving on to quilting. Whew, I've gotten some quilting done this past 2 weeks. I'm going to insert some photos. First of all, I worked ahead and I have my Mercantile Sampler quilt done. So there will be no flipping to show you anything today. Here's a picture of it just laying on my bed because, actually no, here's a picture of it laying on my living room floor. It's 88 by 88, so it is pretty big. I need to order the backing fabric for it, and I can't decide which one I want, so that's why, yeah, this one is just kind of hanging out and waiting for me to make a decision. So I got the Mercantile Sampler done. That's a Lori Holt design. It's a current sew along that she's doing on her blog right now. Actually, I think it finishes up this Friday. So, but like all of her blog posts stay there. So if you haven't made it, you can go and get all the blog posts and all the information. You'll want the cutting guide from Riley Blake's website. I used a Stitch Fat Quarter bundle and just scraps that were left over from like 2 or 3 of her previous sew-alongs. And I had plenty of fabric, and I still had plenty of fabric when I got done with this one to do something else. So we'll see what happens with that. But I love the way this turned out, and I love the border on it, and it just makes me very happy. So that is Mercantile. And then the other quilt top that I finished up was my signature quilt. And that was with the, I had 8 signature blocks from ladies in the local guild here. So I made one for myself, and I put myself in the middle and arranged those and got this quilt top done. So that one is also in the pile to be quilted. Still haven't made a decision on the backing fabric for that one. So again, it's just in the pile waiting. And that one finished right around 54, 56, something like that, square. So it's a nice throw size, not huge, but a decent sized throw, and just super fun because, you know, 8 of my very good friends have blocks and names on there. So it's kind of an homage to a quilt that my grandma made with friends and family that she quilted and was associated with. So super fun. Okay, so the other thing I did was I went to my brother's and I quilted 5 quilts. 4 of those were for a lady that hired me to make the quilt tops for her. I showed a couple of those quilt tops last time. She brought me 2 more, so I have 4 of those to do. I need to get the binding put around on them. So I haven't got any pictures of those to show you, or can't hold them up or anything yet. They're quilted, but they're not finished. So when I get the binding put on them, I will get some pictures taken and I will share that with you on the next Flosstube. I also took a super fun, super cool quilt top with me that belongs to my friend Kenna, which is going to be a gift for her son for his birthday. Hopefully he doesn't watch my Flosstube and me ruin a surprise, although I'm pretty sure he knows about this quilt. I don't know how I could have missed it because it is huge. It is like 84 by 110, I believe. It's a t-shirt quilt and it's got flannel on the back. And it was kind of a monster to quilt, and she was talking to me about how she was struggling because she usually ties her quilts, and I was like, you know, I'm going to my brother's, I'm using the long arm. If you get your stuff together, I can take it with me. And she did, so I took it with me and quilted it for her, and called her on my way home, and she was so excited. I was so over the moon thrilled that she was so happy to get this back. She picked it up that night and she got the binding done the next day. So I can't believe she's got it finished already. It's amazing and he's gonna love it. And I was so honored to be able to help her with her quilt project. And I would love to help you again in the future, Kenna, if you need more help with other quilting projects. So super fun to help your friends out and just fulfill some quilty dreams, I guess, for them and for their kiddos too. So that was amazing. Yeah. In addition to that, I do have a couple other updates. The ornament quilt, I did release a video last week with some applique tips, just beginning the applique process for that quilt. I have not done anything else on that quilt. So you guys, you will not be getting a video this week, I don't think, for the ornament quilt. But next week, I hope to release another video for the ornament quilt. And it is, you know, it's coming along. So just be patient and be kind, and we will get it done when we get it done. And I will get those videos recorded and released as I can. So yeah, if you haven't checked out the ornament quilt, the Christmas tree quilt series, please make sure you do that. I'll put a link down in the description box, and then there'll also be a link probably at the end of this video. I'll probably go ahead and put that playlist in so you can check out the Christmas tree quilt and just get an idea of what I'm doing with that project. So I'm super excited about it. And I'm going to be even more excited when I get it all appliqued and together so I can quilt it and finish it up and get it ready for this holiday season, which I know I have plenty of time, but I don't feel like I do because I've been so busy with school this semester, and I'm concerned that I might be that busy in the fall again. So just trying to plan ahead a little bit. All right, so the other updates I have, I am keeping current with the Moda Blockhead 5 blocks. Those release on every Wednesday, and I really do try to maintain a current status with that quilt along. I'm sharing those blocks out on Instagram if you want to see my progress with those. I'll put the last block in here, but I'm sharing those out on Instagram for the most part as I get those completed. When I get done, I'm going to set it together in a 6x7 grid So I need 42. I'm going to have 40 blocks, and I'll need to make 2 extras of something. So I'll make a couple extras and throw them in there, and then that series will be into a big quilt. Or I might, I don't know. You know, I say I'm going to do a 6x7. I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. We'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess. So that's the current plan, at least. Okay, so the other quilt update that I wanted to share with you, actually, we're going to swap off a couple things. Okay, another quilt update. I'm going to switch a couple things around on my list, so I apologize if I seem a little scattered. I purchased the Quilted Scarecrow quilt pattern as well. This is also a Lori Holt design. This is through Fat Quarter Shop. And it is, you know what, I haven't even taken it out of the wrapper. Let's take it out of the wrapper and see what I've gotten myself into here, okay? This looks like a book, which is kind of weird they put it in a, oh, yeah, all right. So I can't really show you much here. But yeah, it's decent paper. It is definitely a book. It's stapled on the side here. So it's definitely a sort of book. And then it has the fabric requirements on the back. And like I said, it is a design by Lori Holt. It's not spiral bound like some of her other little books have been, how her other little quilts have been, kind of like prim and proper. But it's still, you know, it's still pretty nice. And I think that I would probably look through here a little bit, and I might like do a three ring punch on it to be able to put it into a binder so I could flip and lay it flat as I go through the pages. But it is bound with some staples. And it's, you know, it's pretty good quality for a single pattern. I know her bigger books, which she has a bigger book coming out, those are typically spiral bound. Now they did say this next book is not going to be because the cost of publications have gone up crazy, which everything's gone up crazy since COVID, I believe. But yeah, so this is not the same as like the other, like if you have like Prim and Proper or trying to think what the other one was. There was another one. There was like the Granny Square quilt, I believe. Some of those other ones that are just like, they're like little spiral bound books. This is not like that. But it is still nice paper. Yeah, so Quilted Scarecrow. And you can get it in the PDF form too, which, you know, I mean, I think that would probably be fine if you were just going to make the quilt once and you like using your computer when you're quilting. Sometimes I make notes on my patterns though. So I like the printed pattern and I don't want to have to pay for the PDF and then print it myself. So yeah, so I got the Quilted Scarecrow quilt pattern, and then I also bought the How to Build a Scarecrow So Simple Shapes. Mostly because I have all the So Simple Shapes and I have done most of the So Simple Shape quilts. I think I have like 4 that I haven't. And you know, I mean, how could I not? How could I not do one of the So Simple Shapes? That just doesn't seem like something that I would choose to do or not to do. So I did buy the How to Build a Scarecrow So Simple Shapes, and I pre-ordered the kit. So I will be making this one for sure. I also pre-ordered the kit for Let's Make a Snowman or Let's Build a Snowman. And those So Simple Shapes weren't in stock yet when I ordered this order. So I put myself on the list and they'll notify me, which is amazing. And so I'll get those when they arrive. All right, so that's my like future plans on quilting. My next video series for quilting, I want to share that with you today as well. I have made a decision. So if you have the Perfect 10 quilt book, you will want to stay tuned. I say that I made it a decision. I'm going to tell you that my stepdaughter actually made the decision. I showed her the 3 quilts that I had it narrowed down to. And I said, okay, so listen, she's moving into her own place this fall. And she's going to have a different size bed. And plus it's a new place. So, you know, new places constitute new quilts, right? So I was like, hey, do you want me to make you a quilt for your new place? And she's like, oh my gosh, she was so excited. And I think a little shocked, which surprised me because I'm just like, why would you be shocked that I make you a quilt? But whatever. So I asked her, of the 3 patterns that I had selected, which one she liked the best out of those 3. But then I also gave her the option just to look through the whole book and pick something completely different. And she's like, won't your people be mad? And I'm like, my people will not be mad. My people don't care. My people know that I make quilts for my family and my friends and people that I love. So my people will understand that if you choose something different, it's fine and we're going to roll with it. But she did choose one of the 3. So the decision was made by Callie, not me, but you know, it was one that I chose. So it's fine. We are going to be making the Dutch chocolate quilt, but we're going to limit it to 3 colors plus a background. And we're going to reverse some blocks and we're going to change it up a bunch and we're going to make it bigger. So there's lots of changes that I'm going to do for this quilt. If you want to follow along the way the book is written, then more power to you. I'm just going to tell you up front that I am not going to follow along the way the book is written. I am going to change it. I'm going to still do the quilt the way it looks, except I'm just going to limit the colors and I'm going to change the way that we cut it out because I'm going to be using yardage, not a layer cake. So I want to do that because I want to show you guys how even if you are gifted or buy a book that has pre-cuts, that you can take that pattern, make some modifications, think through the way they're telling you to cut your things and translate that into using yardage. So that's what our quilt series is going to be after the Christmas tree quilt is finished. I hope you look forward to seeing me do that. I'm looking forward to it. I know Callie is really looking forward to it because she'll have a quilt at the end of it. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That is pretty much all of my cross stitch and quilty updates. The last thing I'll do is just a quick life update. I am so happy. This is basically the last week of the class that I'm taking for this semester. It's instructional design with the University of Missouri. It has been a project, you guys. Oh my goodness. And I feel like we are finally at the point that we will be able to turn it in either today or tomorrow, which is going to be huge. That is the last thing I have to do for this class. As soon as that project is submitted, I am done for the semester. So I'm really looking forward to that. I am taking a class this summer. That class starts the middle of June. It's a web design class. So I feel like it should be fairly easy, I guess, because that's kind of what I do for a living. But I haven't had a formal class on HTML and CSS since 20 years probably. So, I mean, I use it still on a daily basis pretty much, but I'm sure I have some bad habits that they're going to want to try to break. So we'll see how that goes. That could be fun for both me and the professor and the rest of the class just to see how that progress is made over the summer to break any bad habits that I have that I don't even know I have. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And then this fall, I have a research methods class that I've been told is a lot of time. But the girl in my group has told me that the class that we've just finished is definitely where she's spent the majority of her time on any class that she has taken for this program. So we'll see how it goes, I guess. Yeah, so that's the life update for school. We have a couple fun trips planned coming up. Next weekend, we're going to Kansas City. We were invited to join the car club in Kansas City with our little MG to have a car show at the NASCAR track, which is super fun. So we'll get to see the race and have our car in the show. So that should be fun. We're going to go up for a couple nights just because of the way times we don't like driving after dark with our cute little classic car. So we're going to go up the day before and come back the day after. So we'll have a couple nights up in Kansas City. And we're also planning a trip to St. Louis just for a little weekend getaway. And that should be fun as well. Of course, we have lots of concerts and things like that in and around Columbia that we're going to be going to over the next couple months. So lots of fun, lots of time to just go out and, have some stress relief, right? But this weekend, if you need me, holler loudly. I'll be in the yard mulching my little heart away. I'm hoping it doesn't rain. It's supposed to rain, but I'm hoping that I have a window on Saturday that I can get all my mulch down and get all of that spread. I have like 35 bags probably that I need to buy and spread out. So that should be fun. Yeah, fun. And I'm going to a plant sale Thursday with my mother-in-law on campus. The horticulture and agriculture department have like a warm plant sale that they have tomatoes and they have veggies. Basically they have veggies and they have herbs and they have flowers, and they're very reasonably priced. So we went last year. Plus you're supporting this college, which I love that. So we're going to go and get all of our herbs and flowers and things that we want from the plant sale again this week. So we're doing that. So those will be ready to plant on Saturday, and then I'll be able to mulch, and hopefully all of that will line out and the weather will hold and be kind to me. So that's kind of where I'm at these days, you guys. There is the update on everything I've been doing for the most part. Yeah, I still have a few things on my April goal list that I want to accomplish. They might get done, they might not. We'll see how it goes. And, you know, I hope that you have the same mindset wherever you are, that, hey, you know, it's great to set goals, but don't stress yourself out. If they don't get done, they don't get done. There's always tomorrow, and or not, you know, enjoy yourself today. Make sure that you're living life in a way that brings you joy and happiness and relaxation when you need it. So find some time to craft, carve out some time to do something creative, and until next time, happy stitching.